Is there a young adult sports book that everyone can enjoy? One that weaves in mystery, suspense, a little gumshoeing, and even a relationship angle? One that, even though it has a sport, you don't have to be a fanatic to follow along? Hi, I'm Dan Whitty, and this is my book talk over Payback Time by Carl Duker. I moved towards him. That's when I realized he was screaming at Kimmy. I stopped. She looked impossibly tiny, but she was staring him right in the eye, her jaw set. The coward in me wanted to drop my head, cover my face, and beat up to the back door. Instead, I stepped forward. "Leave her alone," I said, my voice weirdly high-pitched. Angel wheeled around. His eyes flashed with recognition. "No, you leave me alone." He looked back at Kimmy. "Both of you leave me alone." "If you mean the article, then—" I didn't get a chance to finish. He turned back to me, grabbed my shirt at the neck, and pulled me towards him. I could feel a lump in my throat, but I couldn't cry, not with 100 pairs of eyes on me. "Write about Horace Diamond," he hissed, "or Sean Warner, or anybody. Just don't write about me. Don't take pictures of me." As he spoke, he kept pulling me closer until I could feel his hot breath on my face. The whole time, I kept my eyes locked on his. If Kimmy could stare him down, I could too. He held me for a long moment, and then he shoved me so hard that I fell back onto the ground and onto the chair that clattered across the linoleum floor. For a second, I thought he was going to start stomping on me. That's how angry his eyes looked. But instead, he walked out. The lump in my throat slowly went down, and in its place came a cold fury. "I'm going to get you, Angel Miracle," I thought. "If it takes me 1,000,000 hours, I'm going to uncover your dirty little secret, whatever it is. The article today, that was just a taste of what's coming. You'll pay for this." That little tidbit comes from pages 153 through 155 in Payback Time by Carl Duker. How did we get to this in the first place? Well, let's jot down some notes, just like our rotund protagonist Mitch True would. You see, Payback Time starts off with Mitch ending his junior year of high school with the heartbreaking realization that he will not be editor of his school newspaper. For a kid with a dream of gracing the front pages of the New York Times someday, this is a pretty big roadblock. But don't you get it? Mitch True, newspaper reporter? Instead, he's demoted to the sports section, not the place where big news stories come from. But the newly elected editor convinces him that it's the most important section. For better or for worse, it's the section that all the students read. Still, Mitch is determined to find that story that'll make a name for him. Cue foreshadowing sound effect. Anyway, that story is found sooner than Mitch would think. His first assignment is to cover the Lincoln High School football team over the summer. Along for the ride is Kimmy, a cute little photographer for the school paper that Mitch starts crushing over. Aww. Together, Mitch and Kimmy head to the first summer workouts for the football team. While there, Coach McNulty was very adamant that all attention should be on Horace Diamond. How's that for symbolic literary name? Star quarterback and the player to lead the Mustangs this season. But as practice goes on, Mitch can't help but notice this other player, Angel, over on the sidelines playing catch. He's obviously built like a pretty good athlete, and he's throwing footballs like they're laser beams. When Mitch goes to ask Coach, Coach tells them to stay away from him and stick with the horse stories, and leave the coaching to him. But why? Why hide all that talent? Sure, the last pigskin Mitch touched was probably his Easter dinner ham, but it was obvious that the kid on the sideline was good. Mitch saw it, Kimmy saw it, Coach had to have seen it too. There has to be a reason that no one's talking about, which leads Mitch and Kimmy to quite possibly the big story Mitch was looking for. Well, it looks like we have ourselves a case in the making. I jotted down my first batch of notes here, but there are a lot of things we still don't know. A lot of questions left unanswered. Is Mitch just trying to put up a Hail Mary with this story? Or is there something more to it? To find out, check out Payback Time by Carl Duker. Wasn't that bad of a joke.